Hello everyone, Pat Farabee here. I had a dream last night that I thought I would share with you. I would call it a nightmare, except that I wasn't scared. But this is how it went. It's kind of a long description because it's still fresh in my mind. I can still remember pretty much all of it. But the first thing I remember in the dream was I was called to this room in a long hallway. I think it was a hotel. Uh, and my sister was trapped in the room. Something had pulled her into the room and was not letting her go. And if you looked through the door, you could only see pitch black. And I thought to myself, what could this be? What's going on here? And then I stepped in the room to go and save my loved one. In the room, I couldn't see anything except for a black mist. It was clouding my view. I could only see just a couple feet maybe in front of my face. And it was cold and warm at the same time. It was very stifling. And as I walked around in this mist, I started to feel like it was conscious of my presence, because it kept blowing into my face. It was almost like it was touching me, like it was physically trying to brush up against me and make me aware of its presence. And so I asked it. I just said, "Where is she?" And it whispered in my ear, "You'll never see her again." And so I said, "I'll fight you." And it whispered, "You'll lose." And so I just said, "Give her to me. Let her go." And then the mist grabbed me and threw me up against the wall and pinned me there. And it was holding me up against this wall. I couldn't move. I tried to move. I couldn't move. And then a face, I really couldn't call it a face. It's more like just a mouth with some odd features up here that I didn't recognize. It appeared out of the mist and it said, "Are you not frightened?" And I said, "Well, you're obviously stronger than I am. I can't move. You're either going to kill me or you're not. So being frightened isn't going to do me much good now, is it?" And this thing, whatever it was, seemed a little puzzled and said, "Curious." And then it kind of smiled. It kind of turned its mouth just slightly and said, I guess it was more of a sneer, and it said, "I have a treat for you. I'm going to do something that I rarely do. Give you a choice. If you stay, I'll let her go." And so I said, "Okay, you have a deal." And instantly, pop, my sister appeared outside the door, and the mist had cleared enough in that direction I could see the door. And there she was standing, and the door slammed shut. And there I was in this pitch black darkness. Now my eyes had adjusted enough, and the mist began to kind of dissipate around. It looked like this creature, whatever it was either controlling the mist or was the mist. And I could see some things in the room. And I saw a couch, and I went over and I sat down on the couch. And we started to have a conversation. I said, "What are you?" He said, "You wouldn't understand." I said, "Well, try me." And he began to explain that this was in fact a creature from another dimension, or shall we say from a higher dimension, that it existed in this three-dimensional plane as this mist. I said, "So basically you're here to fry some ants with your magnifying glass, and then you'll be on your way." And At this point, it seemed to cackle and said, "Curious." And I said, "Why are you here?" And it said, "Yes, I was bored, so here I am." And we talked a lot about different aspects of existence. And I explained to it morality. And it said, well, morality is irrelevant because the universe does not care about us, about you, about anything. And I explained to it that no, morality is not irrelevant because the lack of intrinsic morality does not mean the lack of morality. It simply means that we get to choose what is right and what is wrong. And it seemed a little puzzled by that and said, so then I'm not doing anything immoral by coming and playing with you because I get to choose what is moral and not moral. I said, no, it doesn't work that way. Morality is only relevant in the relation of two or more beings. And we had this wonderful conversation about morality. And I thought, I taught this creature from another dimension something about it. And then I asked a question of it. I said, have you ever heard of Flatland? And it said, yes. Do you want to be the square? I said, that sounds interesting. Provided, like the square, I return to my current place, unharmed. And this extra-dimensional being was about to show me what the fourth dimension, the fourth physical dimension, looks like. And then my alarm went off. Wouldn't you know it? But it was a vivid dream, and almost a lucid dream, except I wasn't aware it was a dream at the time, so it doesn't really qualify then. But I figured you might get a kick out of it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.